Hello, my name is Phil Grippi, and what you are about to see is an open discussion among some colleagues of mine on the subject of sexuality in American media, specifically the validity of American media's representation or implication of the human act of sex. It's a bit of an experiment with the format of the documentary. Rather than interviewing a bunch of random strangers with a subject that could very possibly make them uncomfortable, I've opted to gather people I know who I know will be comfortable in the presence of one another, just to generate ideas, toss some questions out there, get a dialogue going, perhaps bring some interesting things to light. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see how this goes. Don't worry, I'll edit it and start at a point where we're ready.
Okay.
It's got bloopers.
Yes,
There you
yes.
go. Lots and lots of bloopers.
Exactly.
You should make a separate video just of bloopers.
Yes.
Please.
It's the blooper reel. Alrighty, so this is Sexy America. Why don't you guys start off by introducing yourselves?
I'm John. I'm a psych major. I'm in my 4th year at Stony Brook.
I'm Sam, and I'm a fine arts major.
Joe, I'm a mechanical engineering major.
Nice. Alright, so we're here to discuss the topic of sexuality in American media. To start us off, I just flash back a bit to the early days of America, 1630.
It's way back.
Yeah, it is.
Before America was America.
Exactly. Yep. There was a speech by a Puritan named John Winthrop called the Model of Christian Charity. It was and used a term called City Upon a Hill, derived from the Jesus Christ Sermon on the Mount. Basically said that he wants America, or what would eventually become America, their settlements, to act as a city upon a hill, to be an example for the rest of the world, to instill good old Christian values in everyone. That was basically the foundation upon which what would eventually become America was built. Then you flash forward to 20th century, America's in full swing. 1930, they started something called the Motion Picture Production Code for film, basically a censorship committee. They made rules. The reason why, because there was an actor named Fatty Arbuckle who, I believe, raped and killed a girl. And
Sounds about right with the name that's given.
Yeah, so they felt maybe we should start keeping a close eye on films. And it was pretty standard stuff. No sex. No they couldn't mention homosexuality. And because of that, particularly in Alfred Hitchcock movies, you got a lot of subtextual, things, a lot of symbolism, so they couldn't quite show sex, but they would imply it heavily. In fact, after all that blew over, there's an interview with Alfred Hitchcock where he was asked, all right, now that that's all over, because in 1969 they started the MPAA, they got rid of the production code. They asked him, now that it's all over, would you ever do a sex scene in a movie? He actually said, I already have. The end of North by Northwest, the film ends with Cary Grant and his gal Friday, I can't remember the actress's name. On the train, she invites him up to the cabin, and they embrace, and then it cuts to the last shot of the film, which is the train entering a tunnel. So, yes, very clever, Mr. Hitchcock. And then you just, So do you guys have any comments on that? Okay. Then you just flash forward to, say, 2008, with the Zack and Miri make a porno.
Nothing else happened there,
Now we're getting into our common knowledge.
Yes.
There we go.
Obviously, they had trouble getting an R rating for that movie. The MPAA kept trying to slap an NC-17 on it, which is basically box office poison. People were like, oh, I don't want to go see that. So Seth Rogen actually made an interesting comment saying, they're really against sex, yet they let movies like Hostel and Saw, films about bodily mutilation and murder, that's A-okay, but sex, that's bad.
Well, because loving people is wrong. We need to kill everyone.
Exactly, he gets it. And then, I'm sure we're all familiar with Game of Thrones, or at least heard of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the author of those books actually has a really interesting quote about just the books, not the show. He said that it's a uniquely American prudishness. You can write the most detailed, vivid description of an axe entering a skull, and nobody will say a word in protest. But if you write a similarly detailed description of a penis entering a vagina, you will get letters from people saying they'll never read you again. What the hell? penises entering vaginas brings a lot more joy into the world than axes entering skulls.
Very true.
Any comments on
I
that?
concur.
You concur?
Very true.
Nice. Alright. Do you guys have nothing to say? Or?
I mean, I just know in Psycho for Hitchcock, the actress, Jamie Lee Curtis's mother, her husband didn't want her taking the role because there'd be a shower scene. Like, was absolutely against her taking the role that made her career. She did it anyway, and then I think he ended up cheating on her.
Also, I
But it was taboo to even, like, take those roles.
Also, I think something that's really weird is how sex is completely shunned in most of these movies, but how somebody like Seth Rogen from Zack and Miri Made a Porno made a career out of doing something that's basically illegal in every single one of his movies and smoking tons and tons of cannabis.
Well, it's slowly becoming legal, but good point.
True.
I mean, we all work at a movie theater. I mean, when was the last time you guys saw an NC-17 movie?
Never.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
Or
think
someone with the balls to buy a ticket to an NC-17
Exactly.
movie.
Hey, but you get all these kids wanting to see the R-rated movies.
Well, yeah, because I think there's like a stigma against feeling the shame of going to these weird movies, but also like when you're younger, that's also the allure of going to see them to feel like you're an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like I guess we could all agree that there is still very much a present prudishness in regards to sexuality in
Yeah.
American culture.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously.
Like the old Christian values have permeated our culture even still today. All right, so
Maybe somewhat more lax, but they're definitely still there.
yeah.
Yeah, people like to pick and choose what they're for and against. Like it's very odd. It's not even like all sex is bad. It's just like the sex that I don't feel comfortable with is bad, and the sex I do feel comfortable with is good. And you all should feel the same way as I do.
But I mean, even if they don't actually show the sex in the movies, like, there are some PG-13 movies that, like, you know, they have the sounds and everything, they just don't show anything.
Yeah, it's like implied.
Well, that's something I actually wanted to bring up. I feel like there's been sort of a dichotomy, like there's a disconnect between sex and sexuality. Like there's the natural act of the actual act, and then there's the idea of the act. And there's like become a disconnected with that in our culture.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone else?
Yeah, still formulating.
Supporting like that. There's also a book I read a bit about online called Sex Sells by Roger Streitmatter. I'm sorry. And he basically said that the development of American culture has been an arc of repression to obsession. We just covered the repression aspect, and now you can see in American media, there's a lot, while there's not so much actual sex, there's highly sexualized content in our media. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. And I think the more taboo they make certain aspects of the human body, the more sought after they are. Like in the Victorian era, they weren't allowed to show their ankles. So couches and pianos had to have skirts on them because people would go crazy if they saw anything resembling an ankle. Then in the 70s, your navel was not supposed to be exposed. The only movie that got away with it, not even a movie, a TV show was that TV show with, who's from Not My Daughter and Missed Out Fire? Sally Fields.
Sally Fields?
Do you know which TV show I'm talking about in the 60s or 70s?
She was in The Flying Nun. They showed a navel in that?
She was a surfer.
Wow,
She was a
I'd
surfer
have to
chick.
rewatch that.
She was like a surfer girl.
Oh,
Something
Beach
with the
Party
G.
USA or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Well, she was the only one that was allowed with it because she was like representing like a wholesome person, but like anybody else in any other movie, they were not allowed to show belly button, and then if they did, it was like crazy shocking.
Well, that was like a bit of a loophole they did. I'm not sure if that took place during when they still had the production code in place, but with the production code, they could get away with certain things if they approached it from a certain paradigm.
Gidget was the name of the TV show. I remember.
Yeah. Like there was a rule that they couldn't cast the audience's allegiances to the side of crime. So like they couldn't have a criminal be the main character unless he got his comeuppance in the end. Like Bonnie and Clyde had to end with them dying, otherwise, America would be destroyed.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a similar situation. Like she had to be that kind of character in order for them to allow
Yeah, that's
her.
the only reason it was allowed is because it wasn't in a sexual way. She was like a young girl.
That's really weird though, because it's kind of like saying if morally good people do morally bad things,
It makes them good.
Yeah, like if a person that we deem as bad is doing something bad, then it's bad. But if a person we deem as good is doing something bad, then it's okay because they're good
I think
when they're doing the exact same thing.
I think it's more an argument of context. It's not so much she was good, it's showing a navel not in a sexual context. You know, she's surfing, there's water, there's nothing,
I guess that makes
there
sense.
was no, like, sexual attitude about it, but then if you have a woman dancing and, like, her belly button shows, like, that's a completely different context. There's, like, a lore, there's suggestion. I don't think it's so much moral, like, a moral debate.
And now girls barely wear bathing suits.
Hey, help yourself to water. I have it there for a reason. Alright, do you guys, anything you want to talk about, or shall we move on to the clips and whatnot?
Let's see what clips you got for us.
Alright, we'll start with one, then we'll talk about it a bit, then we'll get some Flow Rider in our lives. Alright, so this one is from a movie called Don John. Has anyone seen it before? Alright, cool. Good
Seen
man,
pieces
John.
of it.
It's basically a movie about a porn addict. There's a reason he's a porn addict, and you'll see it here.
It's a pretty damn good one.
Just keep that in mind. Just look at it on a subtextual level.
I got a fever and inflammation, that's what you turn the heat on me, some like it hot. Call out the engine, ring up the station, I am on the spot.
Introducing the charbroiled, not fried codfish sandwich. Only at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Love burns you up the most, like it or not.
More than just a piece of meat.
That's not sexist.
So thoughts?
Eating a burger like that will not get you that body.
Exactly.
It's false.
It was a racy commercial.
I think that commercial's actually, if I remember correctly, it used to be on TV a lot, and then like the Hardee's guys used to make like commercials like that all the time, and now the commercial for the same like codfish sandwich or whatever is a lot more toned down. So I guess somebody got really angry at them.
Yeah, they had. I looked online. They have like a whole line of these. Like there was one with Paris.
Oh, they're so disgusting.
There was mayonnaise on it. No, I just think that to suggest sex so heavily in something not even related to sex, it's a burger.
Yeah.
That codfish sandwich.
But if you
True.
eat that, but if you eat the
So
sandwich, you
that
can
point.
get the girl.
True.
I'd buy the sandwich for that.
Nice. And like, this isn't what the documentary is about, so I don't want to go to it too heavily. But like, I do feel like there's an issue with gender politics here.
Absolutely.
Just like that line, more than just a piece of meat.
Yeah.
It's like-
wink, wink.
So it's okay as long as they're objectifying the woman. But as soon as they personify her as like part of a physical connection, we can't have that on TV.
Yeah. Another thing with that is how we can show lesbians on television, and it's completely okay because that's like this weird guy fantasy, and we can't show like normal gay guys because that makes people very uncomfortable.
Anything else?
See, I'm hard. I'm trying to I don't want to go into feminine sexuality and.
Go
You know what,
for
go
it,
for it,
man!
go
No,
for it.
well, I mean, I don't want to turn this into
No,
a
by all means, I
feminist
need
debate.
content.
Okay, but I mean,
We need a feminist debate.
so bad at being.
That's why I wanted like one of each. I didn't want it to just be one girl. I'm sorry about that.
Just be a female. No, I'm just saying women are constantly objectified. That's true, and I think that they're definitely pawns in advertising, and I think that Photoshop really takes
Yeah.
a huge role in that, and I think there's no so much pressure for plastic surgery and everything like that, just to have this idea of just even this highly sexualized content, but even in video games. I'm going to connect the dots in a second, but there's this projected image that women have of you have to have huge tits and a tight ass and a non-existent waist, but small shoulders at the same time. And then you see that in advertising, you see that in commercials, you see that in posters, you see that in video games made by men. You see that in, like, even just like food commercials. Like, it's just this.
Like the Hardee's one.
Exactly, like this unbelievably high standard, sexual standard, not to mention just held for women. That's just not. It's not feasible.
Yeah, and then I'm sure all of you have seen like Transformers 2.
Of course.
Yeah, just Megan Fox
Unfortunately.
sprawled out on a motorcycle,
Yes.
like a
don't
White
forget
Snake
that.
music video.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it's not just TV; it's films in general. Just like the movie Just Go With It with Adam Sandler. What was her name? Brooklyn Decker.
Yeah.
And if you play 5 minutes of Tomb Raider, you'll find it out really quickly.
Yes, Tomb Raider is a big one.
It's really bad.
And it's like most of these movies have to have some kind of sexual appeal in some form of female in order for them to make it big. Like, I mean, there's other movies, but like I'm saying,
The Transformer
movies with,
series
like, a
without
big
Megan
plot.
Fox would have been even
Tanked,
more of a
yeah.
failure.
Who
We're
wants to
gonna get
just
that.
see robots fighting each other? We'd have Pacific Rim.
and she's had a ton of plastic surgery.
Well, the new Transformers movie is just gonna have Marky Mark, so
True, but he
I
does have
smell
a
an
cute
Oscar.
daughter.
that's true.
No, they kept the cutesy girl in there.
And Transformers 2 even had a female robot. She didn't get any lines, but
Yes.
oh yeah, like when it's like
And it was also when he's like
Fembot thing.
yeah, when he's
Around
laying
the
down with the
sexuality
robot.
part,
There's
barges in.
the scene where
Yeah,
the
there's
robot
like-
barges into his dorm room.
like Robotone. And then you got like the scene where they're running in slow motion and she's just bouncing through the desert.
Yes. Yep.
It's unsettling, really.
Every anime show ever made.
Oh my god, I just
That's true,
watched.
So bad. Oh.
I just watched a clip from Kill la Kill last night.
That show is amazing, though. I love that show.
Oh jeez, freaking anime.
It's so bad, but
All right, anything else? Any other thoughts? Or shall we move on to Flowrider?
Throw on the floor.
yeah, let's bring it on.
I don't know if- guys, is that working for you guys on the screen?
Yeah. It's
Yep.
there.
Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you.
I still don't know what the song's about. I hope you guys can help me.
You know, I can't really
Just
tell.
look at the title.
I
Phil.
can't tell.
Come on.
He obviously has a whistle that no one uses.
It's about. You know what? It's about instrumentation.
Oh, I wish
It's
I was there
it's
right
obviously about how fun it is to whistle, guys.
Who would have thought Flowrider was capable of symbolism?
now. Nice.
And you
All I
guys
know
ever-
is it looks really, really nice there right now. And
Yeah.
it's cold outside.
Oh yeah.
Tired of it.
And did you guys ever notice that these rappers have to be shirtless in like every single video with this gold chain around their neck?
He's not shirtless. He pretty much has a shirt tattooed on him.
Fair enough.
Oh, nice. Cool. She's underwater. She can't do this one.
He's the engineer, remember?
Some advertising there. It's for riding a horse in a bikini. It's not like
I'm not too
Well, at least they have more clothes on now.
I mean, I'm gonna personally pass on riding a horse in a bikini. I mean,
It seems kind of painful. I'm not gonna lie.
No, we don't have balls. It's not painful.
If there's anything people could take away from this documentary, women don't have balls.
in case you didn't know.
That is the newest message.
Very is there a picture of Florida next to the Florida? Am I like totally missing something? Or?
Gee, you think he's from Florida?
I would love to just read somewhere that he's actually from Atlanta. He just chose his name.
Avid Florida fan.
I got family that lives there, man.
Got a really
I gotta
good shape on
represent.
that.
Oh yeah, of course. Let's see a penis.
You mean a whistle?
Well,
Can you whistle, Floretta? It's a double entendre right there.
What was he drinking? What is that?
He's drinking something manly. That's what he's drinking.
pure liquidated sex.
Exactly.
It was so stupid.
I love how every guy's pulling his cap down like, yeah, you see this?
There's a sticker on my thing.
The thing?
The brim, yeah.
So it said July 25th. I was like, oh, that comes out on my birthday. It doesn't.
Alright, so thoughts?
I don't even think they're being discreet about it anymore. Like certain camera angles, it's like
They're pretty
it's
much
just
being...
an ass. Like it's just a girl's ass.
I mean, there's a string there. I mean, that's
no,
gotta
I know,
have
but like it's
something.
there's not even like shoulder. There's not even like other body. It's just like in your face, and I
Who
think
wants to see a shoulder?
yeah, right. I know. Put a nipple on it, then people want to see shoulder.
That'd be so.
I'd pay to see that.
I'm a little sensitive on the topic.
But the thing is, so too, I feel like we're so desensitized. Like we could watch a video where like it's like the sexiest women, and we're like, what is he holding? You know, like we could be like, oh, what's he drinking? Even though there's like boobs everywhere because you're just so used to seeing boobs
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah,
like
true.
we wouldn't really notice. We'd just be like, oh, hey, that's a product.
Oh god, the band's kids commercial.
Should we watch that or Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines?
I've seen them both as many times. I want to see the Skittles commercial.
Alright, this is a Skittles commercial. I'm not quite sure when it was released.
I love how they spelled sequel wrong.
Get ready for my sweetness. It's about to come, it's about to come, it's about to come. Ooh, turn it. All over you.
I've never actually seen that before.
You're telling me that actually aired?
No, I don't think so.
That was banned. But
Did people actually think that was ever possibly going to air?
There's more.
You gotta help me here. This is the toothpaste. Come on, push. Push down. Here it comes.
I'm surprised how long this is going on for.
Is it gonna be a... Oh my god!
Giant Skittle.
Oh,
Why does it have a face?
why does it have an umbilical cord? So gross.
This has nothing to do with anything with my documentary, but I'm keeping it in anyway.
Orange candy.
Wait.
My sweet.
Skittles just came out of the Skittle. Does that mean that she was pregnant while she was in the womb?
Don't think too much about it, John.
That's really creepy.
Hey, that's my little peanut butter baby, huh? This guy.
Telephone, please, Dr. Fine.
Bert the peanut butter. Taste the peanut butter.
Where is his faces?
What the fuck?
He had
I
the
do. That's so weird.
I mean, it's hard to tell the two apart.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you got them in bed.
Did the people making that commercial ever think in their wildest dreams that would actually air?
You know
It
what?
looks like a
but
gag.
at least they were married.
I'm sure.
Production code allows it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's hysterical, but I don't think there was any possibility that would ever air.
I mean, did it air?
I'm not
Like
sure.
once?
I think it was banned, but
Did it at least air like once on TV though?
I don't know. Tries to say on the thing. Any other thoughts on it?
I kind of want Skittles.
Oh no, I'm nauseous.
I mean, if that's a commercial, it really shows,
Yeah.
how far society's gone.
I mean, I guess they've always implied it would taste the rainbow, but now.
I think it's just because it's so graphic.
Yeah.
Even though there's no nudity in it, like the suggestion is so much,
Or not even
and
that
it's like suggestion of certain things. Like,
or not even that, just like usually it's at least a little bit implied, they're a little more subtle with it. That was so hit you over the head blunt.
yeah.
The
And then you got the shot of like his underwear around his ankles, like.
yeah.
But again, they didn't show anything.
They didn't have to.
Sorry, I'm just looking. I had like a list of other videos to show you.
Okay, okay.
Did you guys want to watch Blurred Lines now?
Sure. Rapey rape song.
People say rape culture doesn't exist.
Man's wish not that.
Is there a sheet?
Ah, internet fail.
Sorry, I'll cut this out.
Don't play it in HD.
Is it?
Yeah. Or just skip to like a part like a second after and just go. There you go. I love that. That man is not in control of you, so let me free you. Hey, product placement.
No, she had like nude underwear.
Yeah, but there was nothing up here.
Yeah.
Just an arm.
Yeah.
Were they just implying that if she didn't have sex with him, she was gonna get hurt? That was really weird.
Look, she's slinging sausage around. I don't know what that means.
And what was the symbolicness of the sheep before? Or the lamb or whatever?
Oh, I thought it was dog.
There was a I thought that there was a dog, and then there was like she was holding like a lamb or a sheep or something.
Why do I get a feeling this like video is like a birthday present or Robin Thicke or something?
I love how this is what made him famous. See, there's the sheep.
Even like the women.
They're adorable.
I know,
It should
I'd be
not be
like-
subjected to that.
Maybe let him talk.
Oh my god, yes.
Even the women in the music
I mean-
video look like uncomfortable with what was going on.
That'd be like, let's just point out the fact that in the lyrics it says you're more than plastic, and they're all wrapped in see-through plastic,
Yeah.
completely objectifying them.
Exactly.
And they don't have mannerisms besides like pursed lips and like shaking whatever jiggles on them, which
Or the
really is only ass and boobs because they're, you know, genetically engineered. But whatever.
Or the or the weird rape culture in the lyrics, like you don't want to get
Yes.
hurt, come have sex with me. I'm going to drug you. I'm going to give you this really. I'm going to like tear your ass up. Like it's just really. It's kind of appalling because if you talk about this stuff in a normal conversation, people would look at you and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" But if you say it in like a more subtle way, you can put a fancy little beat behind it. It wins a Grammy somehow.
And I love how like every time they had like the girl that was like half, well, they were all half naked, but the girl with just like the
The girl's
arm
really
across
half
the
naked.
They had like the Rob or the Thick across the screen, so like you had to like look behind it to see it.
Yeah.
Or the fact that they're like being like incredibly sexual and like impure, I guess, but they're in all white. And the lyrics are "You're such a good girl," and she's like shimmying half naked. It's like, oh.
I wonder how uncomfortable they all look in the version where they're all just completely naked. Like, I kind of want to see how.
There's a version.
Yeah.
No, their faces are the same. I've seen.
Okay,
both
I was
versions. It's the
gonna
same.
say, I wonder how uncomfortable they would be in that one. Like, oh god, I like the last one was bad, but I really don't want to be in this one.
I'm just going to circle back to Don John. Joseph Gordon-Levitt actually had a quote that I feel pertains to what I just showed you pretty accurately. It was in an interview. He said, "I think that there's not a substantial difference between a lot of mainstream culture and pornography. They're equally simplistic, reductionist, whether it's rated X or approved by the FCC for general viewing audiences. The message is the same. We have a tendency in our culture to take people, and treat them like things."
Pretty true. I mean, that music video pretty much shows it perfectly. Like,
And even that, pornography in a certain way might just be a little better because at least it's kind of bluntly honest with it.
up forward, like
Yeah, like
forward. with
you
it.
want both people are consensual. They agree to this type of thing. You want to view this. You want to view this in a certain
And you know what
way.
you
We're
want.
not going to blame you. This is what it's made for. This is
Yeah.
meant to be taken many different ways, and then they very, very subtly throw in like, "Oh, she's just a piece of meat. She's there for you to be used," so that you think that way without even noticing you're thinking that way.
Where there's 3 men and 3 women in that music video. The women are barely wearing anything for the majority of
The
it,
men
and the men are
wearing
wearing suits. Yeah,
Yeah,
like multiple layered suits.
and the men are constantly like hovering over them, showing like their
Yeah,
power.
he pulls her hair to whisper in her
Yeah.
ear at that one part. Like, if that's not suggestive and sadistic in some sense, I don't know what is. Just
Thoughts?
I mean, I think it's funny that like, you know, every time you see something with a guy, it's always like perfectly covered up, but like Sam said before, like when it's like this going like this is enough,
just get like 2 stickers.
and like
And it's always like in an athletic like context.
Yeah.
Yeah,
always like
sexual.
running or like in the Calvin Klein one. It was like they were showing like
the
mechanical
body,
parts in a
yeah,
car.
your body is a machine.
Also, too, notice men never look vulnerable. Like, even when his underwear rips off and, like, he's just hanging out there and they're all, like, in awe. And he's just like, oh, be right back, guys. Meanwhile, if it's a woman, like, they always have to be, like,
Don't mind, just
somewhat
swinging pipe here.
vulnerable, though. And even, like, and if they are, like, outwardly, like, oh, like eat your heart out, bitches. They're like they're sluts, but if they're like vulnerable, then they're like damsel in distress.
Yeah.
It's more attractive. Like it's, I don't know. I feel like there's so much more when a woman just cast in all these roles.
All right. Anything else? Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming here, taking time out of your nights to, talk about sex on camera with me. I'm sure this is probably uncomfortable for a lot of you.
Nah, for college.
Am I allowed to say you got out bitches on TV? I didn't think. Sorry.
I can't make any money off this anyway because of all the copyright material. So,
That's all right. I'll find this on YouTube in 5 years and cringe.
Yes. Well, thank you, everyone. And this is Sexy America again. Good night.
I got a fever and inflammation, that's what I got. You turn the heat on me, some like it hot. Look what you started, a conflagration, baby, that's what. Don't let the flame go out, some like it hot. Oh, baby, I'm from that old school. I play it real cool. But when you kissed me, I lit up like a 4-alarm fire. Call out the engine, ring up the station, I'm on the spot. Love burns you up the most, like it or not. But baby, I like it hot.